Yo, it's official. It's the community hour. It's your boy Wild.
And LaShonda, the chosen one. Welcome everyone to our show tonight.
Yes, it's a beautiful evening, man. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm pretty good, except for what's been going on in my mind lately,
And what would that be, young man?
The topic that I got in my head was pretty much the Department of Justice. They brought out their survey this year, or their report about Ferguson and the police department over there.
Oh, yeah, I've heard a lot about that.
Yes, it was real discerning, I could say, with the findings that they found in there.
Right.
Yeah, especially with it being a lot of arrests going on over there. Like 93% of the arrests happen to black, or shall I say African Americans, and they only populate to like 67%. So it was showing a lot of the numbers that was like disparaging, like differently. And what you think about that? Okay,
well, actually, I do want to touch on that and maybe piggyback on a little bit, if I will.
Go ahead.
If I can, will.
Yeah.
What I learned a couple of weeks ago in church, we had a speaker come in and talk to us about Ferguson. Mm-hmm. And what we learned is he went in to visit, see what was going on. And what he found is that Ferguson is actually a suburb, but they don't tell you that. And right down the street from where Michael Brown was murdered is a shopping mall.
Yeah, okay.
So they're making everyone believe that it's a ghetto or a bad town, bad part of the city. And the picture that the media is painting to us is that, that there's a lot of low income or poor people. But actually, this is really a working class suburb. Yeah. So it makes me wonder what else they're trying to hide.
Oh, it's a lot from what the report's saying. I mean, it's in my opinion, I really think from the report that I read, everybody at the police department need to be fired because it went around like that. They brought up a lot of different emails that they had that was showing racial comments, some towards the president,
right,
and his wife. Mm-hmm. And it was just real discouraging. Again, like I said, the numbers from 2012 to 2014, they were saying 85% of the vehicle stops were for black people.
Yes, I saw that.
90% of the citations went to black people.
I saw that,
and
too.
Again, that's only 67% of the community is black people, but we got these large numbers over here, and it's like it's real that we're not charging nobody over there. It's real. I like to say crazy. I'm just gonna say it. I'm sorry for the word, but it makes me feel crazy that they could go about this and do such things to us, and we as people not fighting back.
Okay, well. I understand your stance on that totally, but it kind of makes me feel like there is maybe a new U.S. initiative, or maybe, shall I say, even a new world order at this time. And what I'm thinking is as I look around, I feel that the government, in an effort to either make us more self-sufficient, and when I say us, I'm not just talking about blacks in general. Okay. I say the poor because there definitely is a classist thing I feel is going on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they're trying to take away government subsidies.
Okay.
Which nothing is wrong with that. I'm all for people being self-sufficient. But when you take it away, what are you replacing it with? And what started me to thinking about this is because I know a lot of people that receive child care subsidies. So if you all out there in the audience don't know what's happening with the child care subsidies in Illinois, Bruce Rauner suspended them for a couple of months.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Okay. But since then, he has agreed to reinstate them, so they might start coming out again maybe around March 16th. I don't know. But being a single mom now, I found myself having to take a parenting class. Okay. And I learned a lot in my parenting class. So I'm wondering if while the government is taking away these subsidies, why they couldn't provide services for the families that they're taking them away from. Because if you're going to take away their child care, their food stamps, their housing, their health, and the reason I bring this up is because you've also heard a lot of talk about the $15
minimum
increase
wage,
to
right?
minimum wage,
Okay, right.
So when they give you that, they're also going to take away a lot of your subsidies.
Yeah.
So how are you going to maintain if they do that? So I think that someone should stand up, maybe even you out there in the listening audience, stand up and say, hey, go ahead, take these things away, but give us something so that we can make sure our family stays self-sufficient, because we're going to end up being worse off than we were when we started.
I agree. I'm gonna say like this. I agree, part and partial with that.
Okay.
Because with that being is, yeah, when they take stuff away, they should get back. But that's been our problem from the get go, that we continue to reach our hands out to those that don't want to give us anything.
Right.
Which, like you said, it piggybacks back to Ferguson. It piggybacks anywhere where we keep continuing to ask those who don't like us, and they're showing us very blatantly that they don't like anything about us, regardless if
or
we want to say black or poor class. You know what I mean?
Or what we stand for.
Yeah. So when you see that they really don't like us and the stuff that's going on now, it shows you more and more. Okay, we gave y'all food stamps for a while. Now we're gonna take them after y'all done got so dependent on what I like to call the nipple of the government. You know, we've been sucking on it for so long. Now it's like, we take it. What can we do?
Right.
Well, we can do a lot if we start actually uniting with each other and start doing what was done back in the day. You know,
you've always said that, Will, and I agree.
Yeah. So with all that being said, we just got to get back to our natural resources and start doing, and cut back on a lot of stuff that we have to cut back on, because we done took their level of entertainment and things that they have going on, and actually keeping up with the quote unquote Joneses.
Right.
Is actually keeping our broken behind broke. You know what I mean? When you really see it, because the price of the stuff that they got and the price that we really make, yeah, we want to live to the best of our ability, and I agree with that. I'm one of the main ones, so I'm not pointing fingers.
Right.
When I speak this, I'm speaking upon, I need to pick myself up too and do the right thing, because I'm the first one to go grab some $100 J's because I like them.
Right.
And not just that, they actually last a little bit longer than the Payless shoes. I wore Payless before. I come from Payless.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? I know how they can be. So it's like, it's the level of, you got to have the money to make it, but how can you make it?
Right. Well, my stance is that if they're taking away food stamps, child care, housing, and health, raising the minimum wage, I worry that my fellow sisters and brothers won't be able to maintain, because a lot of us do need parenting, a lot of us do need substance abuse counseling, and a lot of us do need counseling on managing our finances. Yeah. And a lot of that's just not taught in the educational system.
No, not at all.
So, you know what, Will? I think I agree with you and what you're saying. If we should rely on ourselves, then we should also begin to start to offer these types of programs.
Yeah.
Each one teach one, maybe?
Oh, yes. I'm loving that. Each one teach one.
Okay.
I see, because once we each one teach one, that's when we can go back to these places like Ferguson and go up there and tell them, I don't want none of those police officers in there right now. They need to be gone. They need to be pushed out. When you have a report that comes out like that and shows those type of numbers and those type of emails, you're immediately supposed to be gone up out of there. That's how I feel. And like I say, I just like to throw these statistics out there. They say 90% of the documented force used by the Ferguson Police Department, 90% of the documented was done to black people.
Right.
So this just shows you, like, I don't like you. Right. And I'm just going to go back to that, no matter what people keep trying to say. It's not that, it is that. So that means we need to learn how to love each other. You agree?
That's true, because no one's been standing up for it.
And that's that's one of the main things. We got to stand up, and we got to help the youth. Because if we don't give them something to fight for,
right,
they're going to end up just doing anything, and that's what they're doing. They end up fighting each other. You know how it is. If you can't go out against those outside, you're going to eat the ones that's up around you.
Right. So then I come back around to my point about giving each other parenting classes.
Yes.
They're not really expensive, but what I learned is that when you're in a single family home, your mom absent, your dad absent, that the youths are reaching out to their friends who are then finding things to do and finding ways to love each other. And they're doing things that they think that adults do.
And misguiding them.
And they're misguiding each other. So that's where the parenting part comes in. And then, of course, when children feel like they're not being loved at home, that's where the substance abuse comes in at too, because they're looking for a way to drown out those feelings of not being loved.
I agree. So that's what I want to say with you again. We all should just come together, pretty much. Y'all been tuning in, man. I appreciate y'all rocking out with us on the Community Hour, man. We're going to keep rocking hard, man. It's your boy, Wow.
And your girl, LaShonda, the chosen one.
We here, man, doing what we do, man. Bang to the peace time.
Talk to you next week.
Yeah.